And we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, except now I'm flat.
Well, flatter.
Anyway, if you want to see the full Life 2D reveal, it'll be linked down below. But back to the news, it looks like Keanu Reeves, Mark Hamill, and Jack Black may be some of the featured celebrities that'll be appearing in Yakuza. At least if you believe this SEGA email.
Reddit user John Conquest received an email from SEGA asking how the celebrity cameos that have already appeared in the series, like Danny Trejo, has affected their enjoyment of the game and if they'd like to see more.
Welcome to NecroNews, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week.
It's a surprisingly lighter episode, despite the fact that Gamescom happened and there were a couple of heavy hitter stories. So we'll jump right into it with a segment we call Headline Hack.
Also like, comment, and subscribe. The official TikTok account for Sonic the Hedgehog posted a clip entitled Foreshadowing, which had Sonic watching Speed with Keanu Reeves, so Keanu is probably Shadow the Hedgehog in the upcoming movie.
Remember when we talked about Deadlock? That Valve MOBA Dota shooter that was supposed to be unannounced and no one was supposed to know about it?
You mean besides the few hundred people who are testing the game, us included?
Yeah. And yeah, we did play Deadlock. It's not very fun. At least I don't think so, but I hate MOBAs. Anyway, Valve has officially announced the game, and yeah, it's a 6 vs 6 third-person hero shooter Dota game. It's still very early access, and at least as far as I can tell, the aesthetic is kind of neat though. Think 1920s steampunk mixed in with cults and summoning and stuff.
Booster claims that Gargoyle is a fan favorite, and if you've seen the design, well, you know what kind of people like him, so.
Well, Ivy is technically a girl.
Valve fans can finally release that breath that they've been holding, because apparently Valve leaker GameFollower has revealed that Half-Life 3 is actually in development. It's pretty solid information too, as GameFollower has a pretty strong track record.
During his video, he goes over a mysterious project that many people have been hired for at Valve, including needing a puzzle designer and a level designer, and that is something that is noticeably absent from the boring-ass Deadlock. As to not detract from his very in-depth video, which you should all go and check out, Half-Life 3 will probably be a semi-open world with whether that will actually affect you. It'll have a day and night cycle and smart NPCs that can talk with you, which might be AI powered, kind of like that Skyrim mod. That sounds cool! Anyway, go watch his video for more.
Black Myth Wukong has sold 10 million copies in 3 days according to Game Science, which honestly isn't that surprising seeing as a lot of Chinese players have been so excited for the game, to the point that PS5s have been reportedly selling out since the game's release.
Star Wars Outlaw has retailer exclusive versions. That's the story. Let's all point and laugh at Ubisoft. That shit hasn't been relevant in decades.
JV.com, a French gaming site, accidentally uploaded a 90-minute video of their review of MGS Delta. The video revealed that it is extremely faithful to the original. The cutscenes and designs of the game have added tons of small details, the graphics are gorgeous, and the gameplay is still very much like the original. However, the enhancements to the game make it feel closer to MGS4 rather than MGV.
The video has since been taken down, as it was released early, but you can expect the video to come back up, or at the very least, more information regarding the game to come out soon. Ellie, we really should get you into MGS2.
Metal Gear?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2.
I guess.
You would like it. Raiden is naked in a lot of it.
Okay.
Alright, now that the small stuff is out of the way, let's go through Gamescom / the Future Game Show. We're only going to go through the world premieres because there was already a lot that we've already seen. So, we'll start with arguably the weirdest premiere, which is Mars Attacks, based on the almost 30-year-old movie Mars Attacks. We're old.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the movie is.
Oh my god. You were 2. 4.
Then there was Will Follow the Light, which didn't really show a whole lot, but seemed to be a sea island atmospheric game, and you can mush dogs. So that's cute. It also reminded me a little of Alan Wake.
Next up is 2D platformer Maui, where you can shapeshift into different animals. The gameplay looks solid and the art is decent enough, but let's just be honest, this is Shantae for the female audience.
Anyway, for people who like Cuphead, Super Meat Boy, and other action platformers, you might like Croak. It's a cartoon platformer where you play as the Frog Prince as he tries to break his curse and return to his human form.
The game has an art style that sort of reminds me of like a mix between regular show and like old Rubberneck cartoons, which isn't really that surprising since a lot of the animators that worked on Cuphead and Rick and Morty developed this game.
A game that I think looks cool is Echoes of Mystralia, which reminds me a lot of Hades because of the art style and the gameplay. It also looks like it has its own modular spell crafting system too, so that's cool.
One of the more popular Half-Life 2 mods, Nightmare House, is getting a standalone game called Nightmare House Reimagined. The team behind it will also be bringing the original mod to Steam, available for everyone to play for free.
The final game is the gory and cinematic adventure game called Retrieval. It really just reminds me of Alien, but we'll see how it differs when it comes out.
So that's all the games that were announced at Gamescom, or at the very least the Future Game Show. Did any catch your eye? Let us know in the comments below.
The next story is fairly dense, so we're going to do the best we can to explain the entire story. Toys for Bob is the developer that made the Spiral Reignited trilogy and helped with the Crash Insane remake, leading to them making Crash 4.
Crash 4 sold pretty well, but not well enough for Activision to want to approve their dream game called Wumpa League, a game that they had been passionately working on and whose framework was the basis of some of Crash 4.
It's important to note that TFB is not some tiny little company for Activision. Toys for Bob are the masterminds behind Skylander and have been known to come up with a lot of very unique ideas that became profitable. So it's a little strange that Activision wouldn't let them try anything new, or that Blizzard even denied them using existing IPs for a Wumpa League-esque game.
Though desperate for their dream game, TFB decided to pitch Crash 5, which was apparently grand in scope. A game that would have taken everything that people loved about Crash and the general feeling of collectathons. It's not a small claim to say that they would have become the collectathon messiah, and they would have been rolling around in money and praise.
Activision told them to go work on Call of Duty because microtransaction-driven live service multiplayer games make more money. And because of that, staff at TFB left, but they still needed work, so they lobotomized Wumpa League and turned it into Crash Team Rumble, so that Activision would actually allow it to be made.
And to no one's surprise, it was incredibly hated. You know, since it was a full-price game with microtransactions, a battle pass, and it just wasn't Crash Bandicoot. Because it really wasn't Crash Bandicoot. But then Microsoft bought out ActiBliz, a bunch of people got laid off, and then TFB gained their independence.
So in short, we lost arguably one of the most promising Crash Bandicoot games because Activision wanted to chase Overwatch's live service meme. And people wonder why I don't care about multiplayer games. If you want the full 1-hour story, check it out on Did You Know Gaming.
Strap in and put on your thinking hats because our last story is a bit of a doozy. It calls into question the existence of a prominent member in the gaming accessibility community, Susan Banks.
If you haven't heard of her, that's okay, I haven't either. But she first appeared online around August 2015 with the Twitter account One Odd Gamer Girl, where she began advocating for accessibility in gaming, especially for the deaf and hard of hearing. She eventually started to gain more recognition and fame, helping form the website Can I Play That, along with helping devs from Ubisoft and the Coalition.
No one suspected anything until her partner, Cody Craven. Cody Craven?
I think it's Cody.
Yeah, Cody sounds right. Posted on Twitter that Susan had an accident, which eventually led to her hospitalization at West Suburban Medical Center in Oak Park, Illinois. When a former business associate of Craven's tried to send flowers, the hospital said there was no one named Susan Banks currently hospitalized.
And that's when things started to get even more sussy. The associate started doing their own research, worried that Craven was misrepresenting himself and taking advantage of client sympathies, and realized he couldn't find any proof of Susan Banks or her sister, Tubi Hamid. A private investigator also confirmed they couldn't find any documents like her immigration record or birth certificate.
Craven would go on to announce her death on Twitter in March of 2019, and that should have been the end of it. Except, Craven continued to post about Susan's legacy, even starting a GoFundMe, and continued gaining gifts and sympathies from fans.
Craven would eventually move on to post about 2 other partners, both of whom's existence would also be questioned. Most notable of the 2 is Damaris Deborah Burrell Vaughn, who claimed to be a registered therapist, but whose registration couldn't be found anywhere in Michigan, Illinois, or Missouri, her home state. And while she didn't have a Twitter account, the photos she used on other social media platforms turned out to be Photoshopped stock images from 2015.
With all that being said and revealed, IGN reached out to Craven before posting the article, who then requested the article not be posted, but had no further comments. Not only that, but in a totally non-guilty fashion, he deleted his Twitter and LinkedIn, and shut down his game content triggers database and its Discord.
Is there a name for something like Munchausen by proxy, but like for non-existent people?
Being fucking crazy?
Fair, I guess. Anyway, there was a lot more to the story, so if you want to check out the full details, the link will be down below. I know people online doing their own investigations have been a huge thing lately, so tell us if you've ever looked into anything like this before.
This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is called Bridge Builder.
Oh, no you don't, Boo Man. This one's my barbecue. Ahoy! I'm the Skull. I do the editing here. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Tactical Breach Wizards. In this game, you command a group of fun magic slingers who breach into various rooms to complete objectives and/or deal with everyone inside said room. The amount of chaos that you can set up and execute in a single turn can be an immaculate mousetrap of interconnected actions. I mean, you can fly through a window, move out of the way, portal a mook in front of that same window, and then lightning bolt them out of it. If you're looking for a tactics game with trickery on your part, get this game. It's only 20 bones off sale, and I could see me getting as many hours from 100%ing it. It's damn fun. Get it.
Tactical Breach Wizards.
And here's the games coming out this week. We got a lot of good ones: a Mio, a Kimbot, Gundam Breaker 4, and Crypt Custodian, which is a game everyone thinks Ellie would enjoy.
And here's our schedule for this week. Lucy's going to be continuing Midnight Suns, and I'll be starting Lies of P.
And that's it for this week's NecroNews. If you like what we do here and want to keep up to date, subscribe to the channel.
And if you've watched this to the end, put a magnifying glass in the comments. Maybe we can even find Susan.
And a very special thank you to our channel members and to everyone who helped us go through the Donathon on Saturday. We appreciate you all so much.
So until next time, goodbye.